In this episode of Real Talk, I'm speaking directly to bar and restaurant owners and managers, or really anyone who wants to be successful in their field or in their life. Okay, and this is what the Real Talk episodes are all about. Getting down in the dirt and telling it like it is without any PC filters or worrying about being too sensitive for delicate ears. Okay, in the hopes of helping you discover what is necessary so you can get to the bottom of things and get what you want out of life. Okay, and quickly, for anyone who is not familiar with me and my story yet, I'm Dave Allred, the Real Barman. I was in the bar and restaurant industry for more than 3 decades, and I went from being a busboy to server to bartender to manager to starting my own bar auditing and consultant business and then software company. Okay, and now I'm one step removed from being retired. Okay, the business runs itself. All right, I still work about 20 hours per week to grow it and to maintain it, but I have systems in place to run it, which means I can do things like go visit my kids in college and play pickleball with my wife. Okay, and the only reason I tell you this is not to brag or say how amazing I am, because I'm not. Okay, the point is I have crawled through a river of shit, as Andy Dufresne from The Shawshank Redemption once said, to get to the other side. And I just want you to know that I have experience in what I'm sharing with you and what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not just making shit up that sounds good. Okay, and I'm not selling you anything in this video podcast. There's nothing to sign up for. We're just talking because I want you to know that if I can do it, then you can do it too. Because I'm just an everyday guy who followed a formula that I discovered along the way in order to reach the goals I set for myself. Okay, and it was a long path, but it could have been cut a lot shorter if I just would have known the words I'm about to share with you now. So let's talk about it. All right, let's stop talking about that. Let's start talking about what's important here. And I've touched on some of this in other videos and books I've written. Okay, it isn't anything revolutionary. It isn't some secret from the forbidden tombs of Egypt. Okay, these are laws that, when put into motion, undeniably get you what you want out of life. Okay, and they apply to every area of your life, including your business, so you can help propel it to a new dimension that you haven't reached before. Okay, so I want you to think about all the things that you have to juggle in your business on a daily basis, like doing the daily bookkeeping, hiring and training employees, keeping those employees motivated and trained to continue to do a great job, making sure to order products each week and that the deliveries are coming in when they're supposed to. Okay, marketing to get people into your restaurant, running promotions, posting on Facebook. I could go on and on. All right, your to-do list is longer than Gandalf's beard. Okay, there's a J.R. Tolkien reference for all of you Lord of the Ring nerds out there. So then what happens when you have a list this long and you have busy work? Right? You get overwhelmed, you get run down by menial tasks, but you never really get to the thing that needs to be done the most to grow your business. You just sort of bury your head in your tasks and then go home and complain to your cat that everyone that you work with sucks and that you'll never get ahead. Okay, you know how it is. But here is where we are going to get to the core of this episode. All right, the theme, the focus, the narrative, the central idea. Is that enough examples? Okay, and it stems from one of the great moments in my journey when I saw a quote that I ended up pinning up on my wall in my office so I could look at it every day. Okay, it inspired me to stay on track and not wander. Okay, and it was a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. Okay, do you know the one I'm talking about? All right, well, this is not a game show, so don't spoil it for everyone. The thing that Mrs. Roosevelt said that was pinned up on my wall was, "You must do the thing that you think you cannot do." All right, that's it. Okay, that's everything. You must do the thing that you think you cannot do. Because the thing that you think you cannot do, or perhaps more accurately, the thing that you absolutely don't want to do, okay, that thing is the most important thing for your success. Okay, it's almost always the case. The thing that you think you cannot do is the one thing that will almost always propel you forward in your business and in your life. Okay, and for me, the thing I didn't think I could do for my business when I started it, the thing I dreaded the most was, one, finding and hiring a software development team to develop my software, which is Bar Patrol Inventory app, and then staying up till 5 a.m. every night after getting home from managing a bar till 2 in the morning, Okay, and then I'd be up all night so I could communicate with my team because they lived halfway across the world. I did that night after night. That was tough. Okay, but even worse was number two, I had to sell my inventory app door to door to bars and restaurants to get it off the ground. And I'll tell you what, okay, I fucking hate selling. Okay, I hated driving hundreds of miles all around the San Francisco Bay Area, walking into bars and restaurants and trying to convince owners and managers who didn't want to be sold to use my app and software. Okay, every time I did it, every time, not just in the beginning, every time I did it, I felt like a socially awkward 16-year-old boy getting ready to ask the hottest girl in high school out on a date. Just the nausea and the not believing in myself and the terrifying thought of being rejected. You know how that feels. I hated it. Okay, but that's exactly what I needed to do in order to grow to the level of success that I wanted to reach. So I made myself do it. Okay, I took the action. I didn't even know if it was going to work, but I did it every day. And I put one foot in front of the other. I was nauseous for 2 years walking into bars, but I progressed inch by inch. Okay, so first off, you need to figure out what are those one or two things that you don't think can be done or that you've been dreading, that you know will grow the business if you'll just take the action. Okay, maybe you don't even know what it is exactly at this point. Maybe it's something you need to learn that you've been ignoring, but you know that there are areas in the business that are suffering and that you're not comfortable with. Maybe something like marketing, which gets a lot of people. Marketing is a tough area to execute well. And perhaps it's been too daunting of a task to learn and to take up at this until up to this point. Okay, or maybe it's how to lead your staff better, or you want to systemize everything better. All right, or you want to lose weight, something in your life. I don't know what it is, but no matter what it is, once you discover what that thing is, then you've got to commit to it. And you must take action every day. All right? Commitment to your job as a manager or owner is everything to the success of the business. Okay? Commitment means that you not only accept and be proud of your current position, but it demands that you become an expert at it. And the only reason you aren't completely committed or proud of what you do or how the business is doing is because you have doubts about your ability to do it. Okay, but I'll tell you this. The more you learn and the better you become at it, the more you do that thing that you think you cannot do, the more you do that thing that's scary, the more enjoyable it's going to become. Okay, this is another law of the universe. The better you are at something, the more fun it is. Okay, and that's true of sports or business or sex or checkers. All right, think about it. It sucks to be the guy who always rolls a gutter ball while bowling or losing money in poker or getting your ass kicked in golf or tiddlywinks or whatever it is. Okay, it's much more fun to be great at what you do, to be an expert, to feel that swag, to feel that confidence. Okay, so as you sit there watching or listening to this, my question to you is, what do you need to do in order to commit to become an expert in the thing that you fear because you don't have confidence in it? Okay, what needs to happen for you to actually finally do the thing that you know needs to be done? All right, and I'll tell you what, because I finally did it. And the answer is you need to cross the line. Okay, meaning you need to step across the line that life drew in the dirt in front of you and challenged you, the one labeled this way to the unknown. Because the future is not written. That's why it's scary. So no matter how much you plan, things are going to go wrong. Okay? In fact, that straight line you see to your goal that you think is a straight line, it's a mirage. That path to your goals is more like a pretzel that will get you tied up in knots and try to make you quit so you never reach your destination. All right, that's the challenge. And because it's unknown, it's scary, which is why very rarely do people step across the line. Okay, they stay on the safe side and they grow old and bitter with resentment, why they blame the government and society for why they never got what was coming to them. Okay, or they step across the line with a tentative toe, but then they pull it back. Or they walk across the line and down the path until there's a bend, and then they get scared shitless and they come running back because they do not want to do the thing that they think they cannot do. Okay, the fear paralyzes them, which is why 95% of the people fail at their goals, because to commit is scary and it's unclear. So if you want to feel all cozy and safe and coast along like you are now, just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, but the number one fear, when they asked all these older people at the end of their life, their number one, not fear, but their number one regret was that they didn't reach their potential. So I don't want you to have that regret. All right, but don't come on this side of the line if you're going to be a little bitch about it. All right, I'm serious. Right now, you're standing outside of an exclusive clubhouse with a sign on the door that says, "No little bitches allowed." Okay, does that offend you? No, I don't give a shit. If you want to raise the level of success for your bar and restaurant and propel your life and your value as an expert, surrender to the fear and the discomfort. Change your story. And the problem is, you keep telling yourself the same story every day when you wake up because you like familiarity. So you never do anything scary. But if you will change your story and look forward to the challenge of growing and becoming an expert at what you do, it will change everything. Okay, and the best way is to write down what needs to be done, and then write down the actions you're going to take every day to get it done. Okay, this is an entire video by itself. All right, and I guess that the first thing you need to write down is that big action that needs to be taken that you've been avoiding. You need to figure that out first because you don't think you can do it. You need to figure out what that is, okay? But the truth is, you can do it, okay? You can become the person you wish to become. You can be the person that your employees and other managers can count on, okay? You can be courageous and show them that they can count on you. You can take that bold step across the line and then watch opportunities open up for you, okay? Because the truth is, the person you are today is defined by the actions you've taken over the course of your life. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now based on the actions you've taken up to this point. And I told you at the beginning of this discussion, there are no secrets to success. Okay, it's this simple. If you want to become someone different, take different actions. And if you don't like the actions you have to take in order to become the person you want to become, then that's the thing that you think you cannot do. And that's the thing that will move the needle in your life and in your business more than anything else you've done up to this point. All right, and that is what I tell my bartending course students. Okay, I have an online course that helps people with no experience become bartenders. And these people have the lowest confidence in themselves. It's very sad, of anyone I work with. Okay, they tell me, I don't have experience. I don't want to walk into bars and hand in my resume and go through an interview and answer questions when I have no experience and no answers for why I have no experience. They're scared, and I get it. And I tell them that dread and that fear of taking those actions is what keeps 95% of people from doing them, which is why they settle for a life of mediocrity, a life far below their potential. Okay, and once again, it's that thing that they think they cannot do. It's the thing that will get them the job if they'll just do it. And the ones who listen and do it, the ones who follow the plan that I give them, they always get hired. I got hundreds of emails. Emails come in every day. Thank you so much for the plan. I got hired as a bartender, even though I had no experience. Okay, they become bartenders. They do. Okay, they just follow the plan. They take actions, and it works every time. It's a formula for success. And the same goes for your bar and restaurant. If you want to run a remarkable business, a new plan needs to be put into place. And then you have to take the actions each and every day to ensure its execution. And really, the way to start doing this is to write down everything that bothers you about your establishment, as well as, what you like, or at least what's working well. All right, in fact, let's do this. Let's formulate a plan right now and take some immediate action. All right, get fired up. Let's do this. Sometime this week, I want you to take some time to actually walk in through your front door as if it is your first time there and view it from the eyes of someone who has never been into your place before. Okay, actually do this. Don't just wander through during your next shift and glance around. Okay, make it an actual activity that you've set aside. Okay, have a notepad or a clipboard or whatever it is that you like writing on and start taking notes. Okay, view it not only as a new customer, but pretend you are a restaurant consultant who's coming in to analyze the bar and restaurant critically. Okay, be John Taffer, okay, with less screaming. All right, but don't hold back and don't glaze over something and pretend you didn't see it because you're ashamed that you're the one who allowed it to get this way. Okay, and if you want, have another manager or owner or the coworker do it with you. Okay, 4 eyes are better than 2. All right, and you need to ask yourself, be honest, is the place clean? Okay, is it organized? Is there anything shabby or broken that people can see when they walk in? Are the seats torn and dirty? Okay, are the windows washed? What does the bathroom look like? What does the kitchen and the grease traps look like? Okay, are the kitchen and store areas organized? When food or drinks come out, are you proud of the presentation or is it uninspiring to the guests? Okay, is the lettuce fresh or is it brown on the edges? Okay, and if it is brown on the edges, do you say anything to the chef or are you too scared because he has the ego the size of a Hummer and the temperament of a wounded badger? Okay, write it all down. Everything you hate or are disgusted with. And also a list of what is working well. Okay, why do people come through your doors? What makes them want to stay? What's unique about your place that makes it better than the other 10 places in your area? Okay, now go and ask everyone who works at your bar and restaurant what they like and don't like. Okay, what's working, what's not working. Okay, if you want real and honest feedback, okay, and you should, have them write it down anonymously and turn it in because then they won't feel like they're being judged for their opinions about the place. Okay, one of the best things I do when I go into a place to give a bartender training is have them do this exact exercise. I tell them to write down everything they like and don't like, and I tell them to leave their names off and that nobody will read them but me, so not even their handwriting will be recognized. Okay, I am then able to share this honest feedback with the owner so that we can improve the system. Okay, if there's an owner or GM that you answer to, ask for the same feedback. We want as much information as we can get so that you can implement a new set of standards that will take the business to another level. Okay, but you have to do it. Okay, you have to make the list. You have to write it all down. You have to take action. Okay, don't just watch this or listen to this and nod your head in agreement because it makes sense and then go sit at your computer and watch YouTube videos of guys getting hit in the groin by various flying objects. Because I'll tell you what else writing everything down does for you. Okay, it allows you to start putting systems in place so your business runs more smoothly and more efficiently. It allows you more time to do those things that you think you cannot do, to take that action. Okay, then once you have all this information, it's time for you to create an action plan that you and the rest of the staff can follow. Okay, you should treat this almost like a grand opening, except it will be a grand opening for your staff instead of the public. Okay, and the reason why I say this is because many times managers let things slide over the months or over the years. Maybe you've allowed your employees to take advantage of you in the system, or many of them might be your friends, so you haven't felt comfortable laying down the law. All right, maybe that's the thing that you've dreaded doing. Okay, but all that changes now. This is your chance to take control and become a great leader. This is your chance to start over and demand that the new systems being put into place are followed to the letter. Okay, but the only way to do this is to enforce the plan. Okay, if you come out and state that everything is going to change and it's your way or the highway, and then you don't follow up and you make sure everyone's executing the plan, then you're going to have less respect than you had before you started all of this. You have to make sure you're enforcing. Okay, and really, this advice I'm talking about today is for any area of your life. If you're tired of running a bar or restaurant like I was, then do something else, okay? But you must do the most dreaded actions that you hate to think of doing the most, because those are the ones that will drive you to success the fastest. Okay, it all sort of reminds me of the last lines of one of my favorite books as a child, which was The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Do you remember it? Okay, and there was that little like rock platform that he stood on. It had that one word, unless, on it. And the Onceler, he drops a truffula tree seed into the little boy's hands, and he says, only you can make it happen. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Okay, so there you go. You now discover that my entire philosophy is siphoned and plagiarized directly from the pages of the Lorax. But it's worth it because it's all true. Okay, and so it's up to you now. All right, take these seeds of knowledge, treat them with care, give them clean water, and feed them fresh air. Okay, but seriously, if you are wishy-washy about your life or your business, or you don't have a real plan that you're excited and proud about, okay, make it happen now and write it all down. Always write it down and then hold yourself accountable to that plan. Okay, if you do that, you're going to be way ahead of 95% of the people on this planet, and you'll feel amazing about yourself. It's going to be completely worth it, trust me. Okay, I think I've overstayed my welcome today. I want to thank you very much for hanging out and listening to me today. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to see y'all next time. I'm out.